Story writing refers to the method of writing in which the writer narrates a series of events that has led to a problem, the progression of the problem, and the result that has led to the current situation of the characters in the story. So when we talk about story writing, this is the method of writing an event, like what happened, um, a dog bites a man, what happened, why did the dog bite the man? So we get so it's just about writing about an event that led to the problem, the progression of the problem, how the problem escalated, what happened, how it was solved, and how. So we have forms of writing. We have the fiction. So when we're talking about fiction, this is the writing that is created in the author's imagination. Like the authors sat down, thought about a story, he crafted it, the events, the characters, the plot line, the dialogue, the story setting, everything comes from the imagination of the author. So the characters, the protagonist, the antagonist, they are all from the imagination of the author. So when we talk about fiction, it is not real. It is writing about stories that are not real. They are purely fiction, purely from the imagination of the author. So non-fiction is a type of writing that is based on facts, actual events or people. It is simply writing of real life stories. Yeah, writing stories that happen that are real. They are real. This is not based on the imagination of the author. No, this happened. These are real life situations, and the author decides to write about it. So the characters, the plot line, dialogue, and the story setting, they are real. They are real. Story setting is where the story took place. The characters are those involved. So now let's move to steps to writing a story. So the first thing you have to do when it comes to story writing is to find inspiration. Without inspiration, you cannot write a story. You cannot just start writing. No, no, it won't make sense. You have to start get an inspiration. You have to get an inspiration. That's where the source of your story lies. Inspiration is where the source of your story comes from. Now, writing a story begins with finding inspiration, which can come from reading. Yeah, you can be reading a book and bam, you get an inspiration to write something from the book you read. Spending time in nature. You can just be spending time in nature and just see a bird flying and it fascinates you. And then you decide to write about that. So it can also come from engaging with new people. You meet with someone today, you had a discussion, and from your discussion, you felt led to write about something. Then keeping a journal, cultivating curiosity. Yeah, curiosity is one of the things that brings inspiration. You know, curiosity helps you to want to know more, and by the time you want to know more, there will be this desire to know more, and from knowing more, you get inspiration to write. So the next thing is brainstorm ideas. You know, this is the defining what you want to write on. Yeah, what do you really want to write on? Then why do you want to write? What is your article or your write up supposed to do? So once you've defined what you want to write, then you make research. For example, you want to write about a bird flying. Yeah, that is what you want to write on. Then why do you want to write? So probably to explain some things to your writers, to your readers. Then you make research about that species of bird. Then the next thing is to outline your plot. A plot is a sequence of events that make up a story. Yeah, that is what make a plot is what make up a story. So you have to outline your plot, and this involves establishing your characters. Who are your characters? Who are those involved in the story? Then you incite the incident that triggers the conflict. What triggers the conflict? What is the rising action? Then the climax, and finally the resolution where the story concludes. Then the next thing is to write your first draft. So after you've outlined your plots, after you've established your characters, the conflicts, the rising action, the climax, and the resolution, then you have to put everything down in writing. You write your first draft. Yeah, in your first draft, there will be errors. There will be a lot of errors. There will be errors. So, but you have to just write it down. So after writing your first draft, like I said, there will be errors. The next thing is to edit, and editing involves the removal of unnecessary words and errors. So after writing your first draft, you read through it over and over again to remove errors and then add the necessary word and punctuation mark. Yes, in your first draft there will be errors. There will be errors. That is why it's called the first draft. So there will be errors. So then the place of editing is where you read patiently. You read over and over again to see those errors and remove them. Then you add the necessary words and punctuation marks. After editing, the next thing is to refine your first draft. So after you've corrected your errors, you've inserted the right words and the right punctuation marks, the next thing is to write your final draft. So you refine and you rewrite, and boom, it will come out good. So these are just the steps to writing a story. So I hope this has given you the proper enlightenment. See you in the next class.